Right, without a doubt, he is one of Africa's most accomplished fashion designers. He just recently opened up the Africarise boutique in Sandton, Johannesburg, aimed at positioning local designers in prime retail spaces. Thula Sindi's vision is also to ensure the presence of African fashion designers from elsewhere on the continent and to showcase their designs in South African retail spaces. He joins me now. Great to have you with us.
Nice to be
in studio. So tell me about your vision of sort of showcasing local, other African talent.
Well, for me, the vision is to really have an inclusive and a broad perspective of what African fashion is. You know, we've just been on the periphery, and right now we are in the richest square mile on the continent, which is Sandton City, and it's really kind of 18 of the best designers that the continent has got to offer. And this is just menswear, women's wear, accessories.
These are handpicked by you?
Handpicked by me. These are all honestly my favorites.
How do you choose? I mean, who to showcase?
Luckily, I've been in the industry for about 13 years, and I've met many of these designers either whilst doing shows together or retailing the same spaces. And, you know, you really get to know their product, you get to know their vision. And the whole idea of Africarise is to really get consumers to make their wardrobes more African. So it's the actual process of Africarising their wardrobe.
Yeah. So people can walk in and say, okay, if this is from Rwanda, Thula Sindi believes it's something fabulous from that country.
Absolutely. We've got Millie Colleen from Rwanda. They make wonderful stuff. We've got Loincloth and Ashes from Tanzania. We've got so many amazing brands, and they make such beautiful product that it deserves to be seen, and also it deserves to be seen within its own context. So the retail space, every designer has created their own mini retail space. So think of it as a department store, but also almost like as an art gallery. So you get to be immersed within their vision.
Okay, and you are also there, your creations, and other South Africans as well, of
Absolutely, there is lots of South African designers. I'm there. There's Ifimal, who does amazing menswear. There's Tsepo Tsala for relevance. There's Tsepo Jeans, who makes custom jeans as well. There's Maria McCloy from Lesotho. So there's really so much to see, so much to experience, and so much brand education for customers as well.
And this is a big store to have all these designers displayed. Just tell us about the layout and setup a bit more.
Well, the store itself is in a prime location in Sandton City. It's in the same level as a Diamond Walk, a short walk away from all the big brands that we all know. And it's 200 square meters, and it's just cut up into 18 small pieces of designer vision, but the way you walk through it is almost through an art gallery or an art fair. So it's really, really immersive, it's really photogenic, and it's really an experience.
And for tourists as well, we know a lot of them pass through Sandton, so you're kind of giving them an African fashion experience and hoping they'll buy as well.
Absolutely, and an authentic one as well. That's why I wanted the designers to create their own spaces so that their context is understood. Because most times, most people who've tried to have retail spaces, they've created a generic space and they put clothes on a rail. Clothes need context, they need the drama, they need the actual reality and the mind space of the designer. So
this is like an art gallery.
It really is, and walking through the creative minds of the designers, but also creating beautiful products that's well priced, that is well presented, and we deserve that as South African and African designers, to be in a space that is not patronizing like a little flea market, but really high end and really beautiful.
Okay, so 8 days in since your store opened in Sandton.
Yes.
What's the reception been like?
Oh, it has been enormous. It has been overwhelming. From local people, from tourists, from people from the African continent. We're even thinking of opening an online store soon because we're getting a lot of requests from people who just see pictures on social media and say, we want this, we want that. So it's been amazing, and it's going to continue to be so because the designers are also very dedicated in creating new visions, new products.
And this is a big economical bet on African fashion at a time when the South African economy is not doing very well. Are you not worried about that?
It is a bet. It's a big bet, but I always bet on myself. And I always bet on our creativity as designers. And I also have 2 of my own retail spaces in Menlyn and in Rosebank. And I've walked the journeys of the ups and downs of the economy, but people will always buy clothes. All we need as South African and African designers is a portion of that 11 billion rand industry. You know, we just need a portion of that to make it profitable for us. But to do that, we need to be in prime locations at prime times of the year and also having all of the resources to bring our vision to life. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that for fellow designers, and all they have to do is bring their creativity, their products, and I know the consumer will just love it and buy.
And you said priced right. I mean, we know it's been difficult in South Africa, sort of textile-wise, an industry once wiped out by cheap Chinese imports. How difficult is it to manage costs? And I mean, what are we talking about?
Oh, well, it's extremely difficult. And, this is a bigger topic altogether. We need our government to stop the dumping that happens in South Africa, because that devalues clothing. But, of course, we can't do much to China because the power dynamics are not on our side. But in terms of manufacturing locally, fair wages cannot be changed, and they should not be changed. It's up to designers to create very well priced and to create brands. Brands can have a good enough markup to sell a product that pays people to make it at a fair wage. We shouldn't be trying to aim for what these cheap retailers are doing, because they are breaking labor laws, they're breaking these big environmental laws. So those are not things that we try to emulate, especially on the continent when we've had such a bad history of bad labor laws and exploitation. We need to find a new way, and I think together as designers and as brands, and I'm hoping I can also guide all of these brands into a way of manufacturing in a fair way, fair wages, whilst creating a product that's got great value and not necessarily cheap. Cheap clothing is a very recent invention, and you can only create cheap clothing by either abusing people or abusing the environment.
Okay, sure. This is a big topic. So what are the fashion hotspots for you in Africa right now? Just tell me what you're excited about, and tell me what's different. I mean, if you look at Rwandan fashion versus South African fashion, what are the trends out there?
Wow, there is honestly so much, and that's why I'm hoping a lot of the designers bring a touch of home with them, because most creatives, they have that essence of where they come from. Nigerian designers have got this vivid touch of color that they create, and South African designers have got an attention to detail and cut, because we've got so many different sizes here in South Africa, different proportions. So we've got to play on that, but there's so much to offer, and that's why you have to come to the Africarise store in Sandton and just experience it for yourself. It's hard to put it in words. It's a visual.
Any crazy trends? People making weird hats? I don't know.
Right now we've been seeing a lot of hand beaded and hand embellished garments, which are quite elaborate. Quite expensive, but once you see it, you fall in love, because right now in this hard economic times, you either want something extremely practical or you want a piece of cake. It's really either meat and potatoes or you want that decadent dessert, So a lot of designers are going for that decadent dessert. They're really creating things that you walk into a store space and you're like, I love this. I cannot live without this. Yes, it might not be the most practical thing in the world, but I need this.
But it's amazing. This is so exciting. I guess my final question is, as one of those out there, what's it like on the global stage right now? I don't know, you go to Paris Fashion Week. I'm sure there are African designers there, but I'm not sure how many, and how many are being recognized. Where is African fashion right now, sort of in the world?
Well, African fashion is really, really up there. I mean, like, just recently, if you can cite Atebe Magugu, he just won the LVMH prize, which is honestly the top prize for young designers, because there's thousands of entries for the best designer, the best brand, the best ideas, and he's South African, he won. So we have the creativity as the continent, and I mean, like, all the brands are coming to Africa. So we as African creatives need to also be building our own customer base within the continent, not always think about leaving, because everyone is coming here for growth, because all of their markets are shrinking.
Good to know,
So we really need to grow our base here at home and have just more economic involvement, and having even shopping centers involve South African and black entrepreneurs within their tenant mix, and really creating an inclusive and forward-thinking kind of way forward for the economy, because right now we need to be creative. We need to be innovative if you're going to make it through these financial times. All
right. Well, I can't wait to see it, sort of this experience of African fashion all in one store. Thank you so much for your time this evening. That was Thula Sindi on his new Africarise retail store here.